Morning everyone, Daneaya Z here, coming at you guys on June, what is it? I just said it, June 8th, 2021. I hope you guys are all well on this beautiful, beautiful day. As always, thank you. Thank you for you. Thank you for being a part of my day, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of yours as I share my story. Sitting with this today going, what do I talk about today? What do I say today? What popped into my head was I'm just going to share a little bit about why and how I quit, right? How I quit smoking cigarettes, quit smoking pot, because it didn't happen at the same time. It didn't happen all at once, and I didn't stay that way either. So with smoking, I quit a lot, right? I was I tried to quit many times. Sometimes I was successful for a short period of time, and sometimes I wasn't. I think I quit once for about 6 weeks, and then I started again, and I don't really know why. That was a long time ago. When I got pregnant, I tried to quit, and I was under so much stress. I got so bloody depressed. If my now ex-husband didn't say good morning to me in the right tone of voice, I would like break out into tears, and that was it. My world was over. Poor man. God bless his soul. He's a good man. Anyways, my doctor finally said to me, she said, you're gonna put your baby under more stress by you trying to quit than if you just smoke less. So, that was, I'm not proud to say, but I did smoke through my pregnancy, and that's my own judgment coming up around me. But regardless of that, I tried and I would quit. It got to the point where I wouldn't even tell people I was quitting smoking because I didn't actually think that I would do it, but I just had to keep trying. So I had one super successful time. I used Champex, and it worked really well, except I wasn't ready. So I set it aside, right? I set it aside, and I came back to it a few months later, and I started to use it again. And what happened this time was I developed an allergic reaction to it. I started to get really itchy all over and hives, and I went and saw my doctor, and she said, I can't tell you to keep taking this. She said, if you have a bigger reaction and your throat swells closed, what are you going to do? At this point in time, I had 2 kids, and they're not quite 16 months apart, and my ex-husband worked away. He worked out of town, so I was alone a lot. I was on my own a lot. And yeah, that's kind of scary, right? If my throat swells shut, what am I going to do? So it was really interesting. I learned that Champex stays in your body for 10 days after you stop taking it. And so I went home that afternoon, and I had half a cigarette, and I smoked that half a cigarette, and for the first time in my entire life, it made me want to gag. It made me want to throw up. And I quit. I just quit. That was it. I was done. And that lasted a long time. I think that lasted probably, I want to say 3.5, 4 years, something like that. And what happened was I ended up leaving my marriage. And so I went down to visit my best friend. She just graduated from university. And I got absolutely stinking drunk. And I had a cigarette on her back patio. And the next morning I woke up, and it wasn't the first thing that crossed my mind, right? Which was really cool, because anytime I quit before and I told myself the story that I could have one, I woke up the next morning and it consumed my thoughts, was just having a cigarette. And this didn't happen that time. So I was like, yay, I've got it beat. I can do this. And then I decided that that was going to be my reward. At the end of my day, I was going to have a cigarette, after the kids were in bed, and that was going to be my time, because by now I had separated from my husband, and that was really weird. Even though he was gone all the time, it was so strange knowing that that we were separated, right? It was just an odd sensation. And so that plan lasted for about, I'm going to say, less than a week. And it got to the point where I was putting my kids to bed at 6:30 in the evening because I wanted to have a cigarette. And I finally just kind of gave in, and that was it. I was smoking again. And I smoked on and off for about 5 more years. And I remember it was September in 2011. And it was the first day I wore jeans after the summer, and I had gained weight. And I remember saying to myself, who the hell gains weight over the summer? And so I was beating myself up about that. And I went to meet a girlfriend for coffee, and she was late. And I was sitting there reading, flipping through the newspaper, and I came across the horoscopes in the newspaper. And I generally don't, I don't really put much faith in the newspaper horoscopes, that kind of thing. And it was literally 2 lines. It said, you need to change your lifestyle, your health is going to suffer. And I gotta tell you, I had no intention of quitting. It was something that was rolling around in there, but it wasn't like it hadn't come from the back to the front. And when I read those 2 lines, it was like, I don't know what, it was just like, it was like that was written specifically for me. I'll never forget, or I'll always remember, the words kind of jumped up off the page. They were like in 3D. And I looked at my cigarettes, and I had just enough cigarettes, if I was mindful, to get me through that day. And I said, that's it, I'm quitting tomorrow. And I just quit. Was it easy? Easier than the other times, because the biggest difference is I was ready, and I did it for me. Did I have my meltdown moments? Oh God, yeah. I used the patch, and I used Nicorette gum because I couldn't use Champex anymore. And there were times when I would be like a hot mess. And I remember once I was looking at my kids going, this is why you don't smoke. Look at your mom, she's quitting. And, my kids are like, oh my God, Mom, at least that was my perception of it. I'm sure theirs might be a little different if they were to ever chime in and share. But it stuck. And, at the time I was working at the airport, I was a server at the airport, and I would stick this patch on, and, moving around and working up a sweat and working hard, those patches would fall, and I would have like medical tape taped to these patches just so that they would stay on. And I have to say that I did lean on smoking pot more when I quit smoking, but it worked, and it got me through. And that was, it'll be 10 years this September. And there's that was it. That was my time. I can truly say that it'd have to be something pretty damn dramatic for me to smoke. And in the last 10 years, there's been a handful of times where I've gotten this overwhelming urge to smoke. And my memory of smoking is, what triggers me is opening up a fresh pack of cigarettes, pushing it up, and taking that tinfoil off, and the way it smells, right? And just, that first drag off the cigarette, that's when I get the urge to smoke, that's what comes up. And it's only come up a couple of times for me in the last 10 years. And when it does come up, I now understand that it is an indicator that something in my life is extremely out of whack, out of balance, out of alignment, that I am so stressed out, I'm so not connected to me, that that's what I want to do. And again, this is my story, this is my journey. It might resonate with some of you and it might not, and that's okay. I'm just here showing up and sharing. So my biggest takeaway is, you will only set something down, no matter what it is, whether it is a habit, a substance, a behavior, a thought, anything. You will only set it down when you are ready. And one thing that I've learned is, honor where you are in your journey, because you're going to be ready when you're ready. And every behavior that we have, everything we do, showed up as a protection for you in some way, shape, or form, because your subconscious mind, all it wants to do is take care of you and keep you healthy, happy, safe, and secure. And it might seem like a really weird thing in there, going, what do you mean smoking or drinking or drugging or gambling or whatever? How is that taking care of me? But I give you my word that somewhere in there, that part of you that decided to pick that up to soothe you for whatever reason was there for a protection. So I invite you all to take a moment and just honor yourself where you are. And when you honor yourself where you are, it actually opens up a space to get to where you want to be even faster. So 10 minutes, there we go. that's a little bit about how I quit smoking cigarettes. Tomorrow I'll share a little bit about smoking pot. It was a very different journey. But I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please, if you guys have any questions about what I do or my story or anything, comment below, send me a message. What can I do for you? How can I show up for you in this? Okay, there we go. Have a great day, guys. Mwah! Love you all. See you tomorrow.